Log into gyroscopeme.com, the hottest online radio station in the world. GS Radio all day, all night, worldwide. Powered by Gyroscope Media Group, LLC.
GS Radio, the best internet radio station worldwide. Providing the best in music and talk shows. Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio Internet Radio Station powered by GMG LLC.
Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. I am DJ Dan, Soulful House Station. I'm coming to you live from the 8th floor. We got another one, ladies and gentlemen. We have our special guest is in the house, Mr. Les Calloway of Soulful House Music Collage. But we're going to do a few little things here, and then we're going to bring them on live and direct. Well, as you know, last week we had another great show. We had Jeffrey C. out of Baltimore, producer, remixer. He does everything except sing. Anyway, and he just put me on a track, by the way. I'm super happy. It's called Adrenaline Rush. So go back and check out that interview. We had a lot of conversation. The next thing, too, we're going to play the hottest song according to Track Source Soulful House Music category. And after we do that, we're going to play a classic, and then we're going to have our special guest all the way from Soulful House Music Collage. He's here, not only in person, but he's in the... let me tell you what we got on, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give Joy Oliver, my niece, a big shout-out for making that happen, for connecting us. A good connect, Joy. Thank you so much. But you're going to see why this is a good connect in a few minutes. All right, so Chuck, according to Track Source, the number one song is Harlem Hustlers, You Can Do It. Now, as you know, we only play a little snippet because Facebook is this nasty little habit of shutting us down and muting us out. So Chuck, can you play a little snippet for us? It's called Harlem Hustlers, You Can Do It. Tune it down a little bit because, Facebook is just this nasty little habit of shutting us down and muting us out. But listen, just so you know, of course, we're on Facebook, but we're on Twitch, we're on Roku, we're on Vimeo, we're on the website, and probably and a whole bunch of other places. At YouTube and a whole bunch of other places. We're going to show up, and of course, you're going to be able to go back and check it. We'll repost it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Hey, listen to this. Hey, look. some very, very important events are happening very, very shortly. Before I get started, I want to always like to give a big shout out to King T Finesse and Ariel Shante for putting our theme song together. I really appreciate it. It's rung true for us all this time. Hey, listen, this week, history will be made in the Soulful House community, April 21st and April 22nd. And you know, for years, we have had dope music, but we really have not gotten all the recognition, all the gratitude, all the acknowledgement that we should get, and the exposure. So this weekend, April 21st and 22nd, for the first time ever, we're going to have the New Jersey House Music Conference Weekender. And I got to give a big hand to Dawood Johnson for putting this together. A lot of people have thought about it, including me. A lot of people have talked about it, including me. But he's actually doing it. So this is very, very powerful. They're going to have, just so you know, it's going to be a real conference. There's going to be panels. There's going to be an award ceremony. There's going to be DJs. There's going to be producers. There's going to be a lot of other stuff. How about that? But listen, here's the main thing. We really need everybody to come out and support it because it will send a message to the rest of the music industry that, hey, we count, we matter. Hey, I'm very, very happy what they've done. You know, Louis Vega's been nominated. Josh Milan's been nominated. We've got plenty others. Aaron K. A lot of, and that's all good. But this one is like the FUBU thing. It's for us, by us, our community. So it's very, very powerful. It's this weekend starting Friday, April 21st and April 22nd. In addition to that, it's going to be at the Holiday Inn in Frontage, 160 Frontage in Newark. For those who want to stay overnight, there'll be those opportunities too. So it's going to be 2 full days, and I'm asking everybody to come. Number 2, May 13th, 23 is the brand event, the SMB. I'm sorry, I said brand event. I'm sorry, I just had that in my head. The SMB annual Pink and White Affair. And it's going to be honoring First Lady Alice Burwell. As you know, we lost her due to cancer. And it still rings in my heart. I miss her. She was one of the people who laughed at my jokes. I don't know if she thought it was funny or she felt sorry for me, but either way, she gave me that love. Anyway, but it's going to be on May 13th. It's going to be at the Mr. E. It's going to be a big event, and to honor her, and especially too, if everybody's known somebody who's had an encounter with cancer, whether it's personally, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend. And cancer continues to be one of the leading killers of our community. So that night, it's going to be a big deal because we're going to honor her that night, and of course we're going to have some fun too. That's going to be May 13th, Mr. East, and that's SMB Entertainment. You can get a hold of Sultan. You can reach him very easily. Type in SMB, you'll see it, or just type his name in anywhere on the internet. It'll come up. And just be aware of that. That's going to be on the 13th. Then May 20th, the House of Salima Designs and Tyrone Chablis are going to have a super event, compliments of Hope Michelle Royster. And what's happening is she's going to do a fashion show. Now, if you know anything about Hope, she's like first class, high level, like she's Gucci clean. All right, I'm Sears clean. She's Gucci clean, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's going to be a high class, high quality event. It's going to be on I don't know, where am I getting these things from today? I don't know. I'm in another world here today. It's going to be on May 20th. It's going to be at the Doubletree on Frontage in Newark. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got like a lot of good stuff happening. And I'm asking everybody to come out and participate in all these events. All these events are going to be great events. You'll be happy. And plus, you'll support people in our local community who put on these events. By the way, just so you know, it's a lot harder to do than it looks. All right. Now, let's do this. Let's play our old school song. And again, we only play a little snippet because this one's going to be recognized by Facebook right away. just a little snippet, because again, Faith with this nasty, nasty little habit of shutting us down and muting us out. Chuck, can you just hit it for just, I don't know, 30 seconds or less? Here we go. See if you recognize this. Oh my goodness. That's probably, no, we're going to name that tune on this one. So they don't shut us down. Okay. Yeah, we just a little name that tune. Hey, listen, so many songs came out of this. I mean, certainly they played it in the clubs, and then of course Rapper's Delight, which was the first song to really go public with hip hop. Of course, they used that track to make the song. By the way, just so you know, hip hop was running underground before it came to the public, just like house music was underground before it came to the public. So listen. So let's do this. We are here sitting with our special guest, Les Calloway. Everybody go, yeah! Les, how are you, sir?
I'm fantastic.
Good. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. I just want to give Joy a big shout out for connecting us. And then I had a chance to go out and check some of the stuff you do and some of the things that you're putting down. And it's really, really, really powerful. And you're really advancing our community. So I want to start off, I always like to start off with the easy stuff. For the people who don't know you, just tell us a little bit about you.
Well, most people know me as musicologist, one master mixer.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Not many know me as Les Calloway. That's kind of
okay.
my regular name.
Okay. All right. We're going from musicologist from now on. Okay.
I kind of got into this in the age of about 13 years old. Mm-hmm. There's a club downtown called the Executive Suite, owned by Reuben Johnson, who owned a lot of the clubs in Newark. At the time, my mom was a manager, and back then it wasn't like you were getting a babysitter. So the club was my babysitter. Mm-hmm. So I was allowed to be in the club, help, have one of my first jobs working there, kind of bringing liquor up and down or doing whatever it is they needed. And there was a DJ upstairs called Abel Savage.
Abel Savage?
Yeah.
From Patterson?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
And Abe was very instrumental in my growth as a DJ. Or, yeah, as a DJ at that time, I was kind of learning, so I don't even think I had the hat as DJ at that point. One night he was playing, had to do something, stepped out, asked me to hold down a couple of records for him. I did. And when he came back, the floor was still crowded. So that was the first introduction to catching the bug, buying a lot of vinyl. I've always was into music, so music was always a big force for me. My mom Ann Calloway was very instrumental in making sure that music was a huge part of my life, giving me my first turntable, my first closing play at 5, you know. So I've always just had it in my blood. It's always been an intricate part of my life.
Okay, now, from now on, I'll refer to you as musicologist, but everybody who meets you has to ask you this question. I asked you before, now I'm going to ask you for the public. The last name Calloway is synonymous with music. Is there a connection between
my
you?
My great-uncle Cap Calloway, yes.
Cap Calloway,
yes,
that's
yes.
right. Okay,
yes.
Minnie the Moocher was one of his big
Heidi ho.
Minnie the Moocher.
That's right. Good stuff.
All right. So now we clear that. So you're originally from where?
New Jersey.
Okay. All right. In particular?
Orange.
Okay, gotcha.
Montclair, Newark.
Okay. Now, so now you told us some of the environments now, and you mentioned Abel Savage, which is, wow, that's matter of fact,
my
we're
brother
friends.
from another.
Okay, so he's going to know right away. It's
yeah.
It's amazing because we ran around in a lot of the same circles and never ran into each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
anyway.
Yes. Now, how about early music influences in terms of just listening to music and that kind of stuff like that?
It's a good question. some of my early influences way before house music started with soul.
Oh, yes.
Temptations, some Eddie Kendricks.
Keep on.
But we go all the way back. We can go back to some 50s and stuff I have to listen to. And I'm not going to take you back to Soul Town on XM Radio at this point.
Okay.
But I listen to a lot of things that came off of Soul Town.
Wait a minute. B.K. Kirkland?
B.K. Kirkland, yeah.
From Patterson.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something. I'm born and raised in Patterson. Still living. Patterson is deep in here. Keep going. I'm loving that.
Patterson was a jewel.
I'm loving
of
that.
music.
I'm
Patterson
loving that.
is a jewel, and it still is. To this
Yes, yes.
point. So those were a lot of Jackson 5. These were this was the music, when I heard it, it just did something. For some people, they listen to music. For some others, they're engulfed in music. It does something to your soul. It's inside your soul.
Yeah. I mean, such a good point, because all of us are pretty much exposed to music, but only a few of us feel compelled to do something with it. Now, at a very early age, even if I didn't know, I was made very aware that singing wasn't going to work for me. But I still like music. I'm a 1-2 stepper on the dance. That wasn't going to work. So I ended up, I tried to play a musical instrument. That didn't work. I'm thinking about all these things that didn't work out. But it's a good thing I found out early.
You have to find your niche.
And then it came down to the playing the music, the DJing. So that, and then of course, and into interviews and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm always curious to see, like what went off in your head, what went off in your soul that said, hey, wait a minute.
So for me, being 13 was a different day. It was different back in the day. I was able to go a lot of clubs because my mom would allow it. So I went to El Castel. I went to Shanique's.
Okay, all right.
I went to Abe's Disco before, when it first opened.
Okay.
So before it was really a Zanzibar, when it had lions, tigers, and bears on mine. So I was able to really go into these clubs because I had big brothers or sisters who took me. One who was always instrumental was... I'll never forget, even moving forward when moving records, moving skates, Abigail Adams was very instrumental in my where I went with music. But as far as what really did it for me is when I first heard it in a club, and I first heard those AST ass kickers open up, and I started dancing, and that two-step moved into like... a couple other things, and next thing you know, you're doing the freak, and then it moves into other different dances, and next thing you know, it really, it encapsulates you, it takes over.
Right.
And that's what it is. Music's taken over my life.
Right. Now, how about some of your favorite artists from back in the day, and then, what's some of your favorite artists?
Colonel. Uncle Colonel.
Okay, now.
My God, I have so many. Just to put a point, and it's hard because we could be talking about disco era. We could be talking about the Tavareses of the world.
Sure.
The Teddy Pendergrasses, Harold Melvin, and Blue Notes.
Okay, now.
We could move forward and move into like the Arnold Jarvises, the Patti LaBelles.
Sure.
There's so many influences. I would sit here all day and just blab about different people different music artists who inspired me.
Hey, you know what? Just along those lines, just for a hot minute, what happens a lot of times when, I'm going to say in the music business, it's like people age out, just like they age out of the system. But I believe somebody could do something with a Patti LaBelle and make a hot house track.
Actually, if you check out DJ Phantom, shameless plug, on Bandcamp, you've got to hear his rendition of one of Patti LaBelle's "What Could You Do For Me." That is one of the hottest tracks out. Also, I think Maurice from Chicago picked it up, so it's also on his label. It's an amazing rendition.
Yeah,
it's probably the number one to play.
Well, again, like I it's kind of like they age out of the system, and then it's not that you're on checking for them. Like, it's just like, wait a minute, why are you leaving these guys behind? And then, the guys that are on right now, why don't they reach back and say, hey, listen, let me, really a lot of what I'm doing today is based on your influences. I'm just wondering why they don't say, hey, listen, let me bring.
Well, there is. That's
Okay.
called Louis Vega.
Okay.
And
okay.
that's what
All
Louis
right. I hear
does,
music.
and
Yeah.
does it well.
Yes,
He
yeah,
brings
okay.
everybody, Rochelle Fleming, he
Yes.
brings everybody back
Mm-hmm.
so that they get a chance to kind of bring back that flavor again or redo the original, and make it something unique and different. But yet, not to a point where some of these are kind of overblown. So his is just, his production work is just always so pristine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. Now, how did you started pre-house? You mentioned soul. You go like the 50s. 50s is like Daddy's Girl, Drifters, Platters, that kind of
And
stuff.
don't get
like
me
that.
wong, I was born in '60.
No problem. But,
But the
but
parents
you still
brought you what you needed.
Yeah.
The Beatles.
Yeah, the Beatles, sure.
There were so many different artists. And back in our day, we were very eclectic. So it wasn't just that, right now you could hear it's like, it's house.
Yeah.
It's only house.
Yeah.
And it can only be house.
Right.
Or maybe a little jazz, or maybe a little R&B, a
Right.
little jilly.
Uh-huh.
But for us, it was all eclectic. You would listen to anything and everything under the
Right,
sun.
right.
It could be Journey.
Yeah.
You could be playing The Who.
Yeah.
The Police. You never knew, because everything was like based on not just underground disco classics, but also it was based on pop music. And it was a
Right.
huge influence for us. We had plenty of clubs, CBGBs,
Sure.
the Ritz, the Roxy. There were so many places to go to hear eclectic music.
Yeah.
And
Hey.
MTV, of course.
Sure. Hey, new wave, freestyle was back then. Hip hop was
Yeah.
starting to get legs under it
Yeah.
back then. So, yeah. So, how did you make the journey into house? That's what we want to get to.
That's a good question. That would have been Abe Savage.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
and then I had other influences. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I had a brother named Matthew Myers, who was really an instrumental component. He was the man back in East Orange back in the day. He played everywhere.
Okay.
And he took me under his wing, and he taught me a lot. He taught me how to not scratch up records,
Okay.
how to mix and
Yeah.
flow, what to play, how to play it, how to create your own style of music, not just play the music, but make it your own.
Right.
And I thank him for that. I had a lot of other influences. I mean, I had Marley Marl.
Okay, absolutely.
Marley
We were
was
talking
a huge influence for me. There were so many cats that were so deep that when you listen to them, you took that influence and you want to make something that, Kid Capri,
Oh, well.
you know,
Mhm.
Timmy Regisford,
Yes.
Tony Humphreys. All these cats were like intricate. Patterson, of course. Can't miss Mr.
Hey.
Patterson.
Hey.
Since we're talking about Patterson. T. Scott.
Yes.
Of course,
Yes.
Larry Levan.
Yeah, okay.
Dave Mancuso. Nicky Ciano.
Okay,
So
Nicky-
it went deeper. You know, these cats were just intricate components, and then you listen to that, and you didn't want to mimic. You wanted to listen, and you wanted to create your own style, and they helped me to do that.
Okay, as we're talking, you see I'm getting goosebumps. So listen
It's
to
not
this.
cold in here.
So let me tell you my Nicky Ciano story. So I actually met him in Atlantic City a few years pre-pandemic when they at the DJ Music Convention in Atlantic City. But I'm going to say, you know how you have a grandparent, you have a parent, and then you have the kid? So he would be like a grandparent to me. I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because my first influence, if I go back to when I started learning how to play and how to DJ, I listened to my brother, Craig Oliver. Craig and I go back to kids. And Craig was the first person in person that I could see mix music. And he, we would sit in his room, and we would, and he would just take me through things, So that's when I hear. But see, but Craig got his influence and learned from Nicky. You see what I'm saying? So you mentioned that. But
If you want to go deeper into that,
okay,
and this is always the debate,
okay,
but Nicky was influenced by David.
David Mancuso. Huh?
Correct.
Okay.
David was the original, and we're going to go probably back. Somebody's going to hit me back later and be like, stop it. It's true. The Gallery.
The Gallery, sure. That was back then, right?
Before that was Loft.
Okay, the Loft. But
there's a lot of great books
right?
out here that you can read that will tell you a lot about the depth of it. There was a place called The Saint.
Okay, yes.
That was before all of that. And the DJs at The Saint were beasts. So all of these come from a lot of the 50s clubs, the big, clubs where they would be like sock hops and stuff. Like that. It just built into something bigger in the 60s. And The Saint was, I believe, was right up there with the Loft. And David was a genius.
Yes.
These things. And if it wasn't for David, there probably wouldn't have been any Paradise Garage or anything else.
Yes. And you know what? One of the things, too, that he did was pretty innovative is he had memberships. Yes. And he had memberships, and people would have to be in. And then one of the things, too, that he did was he didn't say, well, you're of this orientation, you can't come in. No. As long as you're here, he had people of all nationalities, all persuasions, all walks of life.
Rich, the poor,
exactly.
It didn't matter. It's all about the music.
It was about the music, right. Unfortunately, he passed away, but he's had a major imprint on music today and mixed music today, too. So.
It's funny because with David, I actually, when I started Soulful House Music Collage, I got a chance to interact with him a little bit. And I actually, I started it as a podcast.
Okay.
And when we started a podcast, I think that was back in 2007. We started the podcast, and I got a chance. David gave me one of his sets from Japan, and he was mixing. As we know, David doesn't.
He wasn't
mix.
right. He wasn't the best mixer.
But what I will tell you about David and what
great programmer.
Yeah. Not only that, what really separated him was sound quality.
Oh, definitely, because he had matter of fact. Okay.
Thorns.
He had the Thorns turntables, but he also, the guy that put his system in, wasn't, there was the guy, I could see his name, I could see his face. Unfortunately, he passed away too. But it was a Jewish guy that I think put his sound system in. And then then the other gentleman who was a protege of the original guy.
Richard Long.
Richard Long, that's the name I couldn't think of. He put in Zanzibar.
Got a chance to meet Richard, too. That was amazing.
Wow. Okay.
I used to work at Roxy.
Oh, okay.
Thanks to Abigail Adams.
Okay, and Abigail.
She got me the gig.
Well, speaking of that, I'm sorry to get excited a bit.
No, we're cool. We're cool. We're in my realm. We're in each other's realm right now.
Yes, because Bird, I didn't know Carolyn Bird.
That's my sister.
Her. Yeah, she's spoken about Abigail. So, I mean, wow.
Yeah,
Woo.
me and Bird are tighter than skin on a hot dog.
That's pretty hot.
I love you like a fat kid love cake.
Patterson.
Straight up
Bird.
Patterson.
Oh, yeah.
Cheetahs.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. So, but let me use a couple of shout-outs from people saying, sure. Joy, what's up?
Thank you, Joy. Appreciate you. Love you.
Shonda T, CJ, what's up?
Hey,
gonna see you this weekend. I know you're gonna bring it. Linda Lee, what's up? Shalene, live from Florida. Paul Kroom, hey. Paul, I'll be reaching out to you later this week. Oh my goodness, look at all these great people. Okay, we'll come back a little bit. All right. Hey, listen, share. That's right. P-Town is in the house. Silk City is in the house. We just representing all over the place. Anyway, all right, back to the Back to the regularly scheduled programs. Anyway, okay. So now, so where is house music headed from your standpoint? So I kind of see how you got involved.
This may sound really funny.
Okay.
But house music is underground.
Okay.
It came mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
It went back underground. Here, at least on our side of the neck of the woods.
Right.
Chicago, it's on the radio. It's flowing. I don't think it's flowing as big as it used to. We really don't have that. I mean, you can go to an XM radio. You can listen to the Groove, or you can listen to the Studio 54 channel.
Right.
But I think that everything is digital, right?
Okay.
So having access to a DJ via Twitch or Instagram or Twitter or wherever you decide to use, whatever platform, TikTok, I think it opens up Pandora's box to a lot of things that you don't hear. So the exposure is very deep. So if you ask me where we're going, I think we're just going, everything's web-based.
Okay.
I think that the clubs are still open. The clubs are still doing things, not taking anything away from the club, because that's a movement. That's the church.
Right.
To get the pure sound, to go in there and really feel whatever you're feeling, not with headphones, is not the same. To have that sub that's punching you in your chest. Right. You know,
Gotcha.
to get that pure feeling. I don't think we're ever going to get away from that. I think that the logistics has changed a lot. It's been added. It's added bonus. So it's not just local. It's global. And the global presence is now everyone, not just the people in Japan are getting the global presence, people in Europe, or it's people everywhere are global. So matter of fact, in my room last night, I had a couple of cats from South Africa.
Okay.
You know, Amsterdam. There's so many people. It just shows that our movement is universal.
Let's dissect this for a minute. All right. Okay. So if we look in the Jersey, New York, New Jersey area and here, the audience is mostly black and brown. I'm not saying you don't have people from other cultures, but it's mostly black and brown. You go to Europe, it's a different thing.
Whole different ballgame.
Okay. From your perspective, as a person who has a station who can show up all over the world, why do you think, or what are your thoughts on, hey, wait a minute, why does it seem to be situated in this community here, but it's in a whole other community over there? Because they have just as many people who are not black and brown over here as they have.
I can give you a really good answer on that.
Okay, so let's go.
I'll give you one word.
Okay.
I'll give you two words.
Okay, all right.
Jersey sound.
Okay, Jersey sound. Okay.
So what I mean by that is our sound is different.
Okay.
If you go to California right now, their sound is completely different from ours.
Okay.
You may go to Europe, you may hear new disco. Right, which some of us won't even get near. We won't touch it.
Right.
We don't want anything to do with new disco. We want it more soulful. You may go somewhere and maybe all deep music.
Right.
Chicago is known for. I'm careful. I'm careful. I'm not gonna start. But Chicago's known a lot for being able to play outside the box, and as well soulful. But that Detroit sound, the techno sound,
it's
is not always something that is always welcomed in different parts of our house community.
Right.
You know, you may go to our clubs here, we want to hear straight soulful.
Right.
We want all vocals. You can play a couple instrumentals,
right,
but you better not walk away from them vocals. You better give us that soulful, which in our minds comes a lot from our Jersey sound. Our Jersey sound, thanks to Tony Humphries. And, of course, I'll give Timmy his credit, too. But our Jersey sound comes from the vocals, you know, the gospel. You know, me personally, I lived in California from the time I was 5 till the time I was 11.
Okay.
And in back of my house was a gospel church.
Oh, okay.
Which played gospel, sang gospel 5 to 7 days a week. You know, even when it wasn't open, they were practicing.
Okay.
So while I was asleep, I heard gospel music.
Okay.
So that was instilled. So when that soulful comes to me, I hear those inspirations of those vocals, those strong vocals, those Patti LaBelle's, those even Whitney Houston's, those vocals that just, you could hear and it moved your spirit. And that's what's different between us and Europe. I'm not saying that they're not soulful.
Right.
I'm just saying it's a different kind of soulful.
Okay. Let's dissect another part of it. We were talking a little earlier about some of the younger cats, you know, like us.
Amir.
and Justin. Right, and you have then you have I mean, those are two that pop in the head, but then there's others, and that are on the younger side.
So let's dissect Amir, my nephew, first.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay, I'm familiar with Justin, but I can't talk about what I don't know.
Okay.
But I know Amir. And I know where Amir comes from.
Okay.
I know that Amir's influences of all his house music come from his parents, who are straight up house.
Straight up. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
So he comes from the grounding of old school. And that's why his influences are so strong. He could play new, but he also plays classics.
Yes.
Like he was hanging out with Larry and Tony.
Yes.
Okay, and that's the difference. That's the thing I love about my nephew. He's amazing when it comes to that. And he's played so many places. It's such an inspiration to watch him keep this motivation and to go to all these different places, outside of America. I admire him for that.
So here's my question. From your perspective, we say we will need to bring younger people into this community. From my what I would like to know, in terms of what you think, are we just talking or are we serious about it? If we're serious about it, what do we do, or what should we do if we're serious about it? Or are we just talking? And there's nothing wrong with having conversations.
There's nothing wrong with having conversations.
Okay, so what's your thoughts?
It's very hard to pull a Justin or an Amir into your fold and say, hey, engulf this. We're having really a strong parental side that says, I don't care what you want to hear. You're going to listen to this. And for what I'm told, also Amir's sister is just as much a beast. And they go their own way. They either say, I'm going to go into house, or right now hip hop is the number one genre. So back in the day, we were the number one genre, and hip hop was way underground, and then it flipped. And it's hard for us to say, oh yeah, this is going to go on forever because we're getting old, right? The tracks aren't out there like they were. Okay, we had vinyl. Right. I still to this day own most of my vinyl, all but 3 pieces that I sold. Okay, which I'm really upset about, the White Album. But there was so much every week, and it was a rotation. It was out there. We were above ground.
Right.
We're not above ground.
Right.
So to hear some of this stuff, many people will hear it and be like, oh my God, I never heard this before. My lady, she's from Egypt. She had no idea of any of this stuff. And I've been introducing it to her. And now she's like really starting to kind of learn what the intricate components are in this puzzle. And she's like, wow, I never knew that this existed. So,
yeah. We do have a what music type deal going on.
Right. What?
Just going back to bringing younger people in. I've heard people say. Matter of fact, and you probably know Charles Dixon.
I know Charles.
He's a big proponent of you got to bring younger people in.
Gotcha.
Because you know what? But think about this for a minute, all right? So every age has their music. So, for example, I did a party Saturday night. And when I walked in the room, I knew who to play for. Because most people have a time in their life, not to say that they won't know very popular stuff, but they have a time where they were really on. Like if somebody went to the bathroom, they knew it in terms of that music. So let's say, for most people, that time in their lives was in their teens and then the early 20s. Not to say they don't listen past that, but by that time, just got into the 20s, they start getting families, they got other priorities, and all these other things come into play. And that's probably, so just like the people who are into Motown. Now you can get a kid to maybe listen to 1 or 2 Motown tracks and may know them because they're parents, but you're not going to have a whole night with them. So they're going to be, they may get more likely going to be, let's say, and this is my personal experience, that some people are more versatile than others. Some you're going to play straight up R&B, straight up hip hop and R&B. That's all you can play. Some they need to have that reggaeton. They need to have the reggae or the dance hall style. And that. So I'm saying there's all these different things. I think, in my mind, I think Charles is probably right on much of that.
I agree.
You're not going to have grandma on the wall.
Right. No. But what you want to remember back is with us and the way we grew up. Mm-hmm. We grew up in that 60s sound, right? Mm-hmm. Not for me personally. I mean, you're probably younger than me. You're younger than me.
Young Dan.
So in that 60s sound, when we got to the disco sound, we forgot about the 60s sound, right? Mm-hmm. And then when we got into disco, we forgot about the disco sound, right? We went to house music. And then when we got out of house music sound, we went to what we have now, right? You got to 1998, 2000, and you're like, I'm not going to listen to Adonis right now. I want to hear what's new and popping, right? But at the same time, for us personally, it brings back the memories. And I can tell you right now, and this is honest truth, I play 6 hours on Twitch on a Friday night from 9 to 3 in the morning. And I can tell you the truth, if I play new stuff all night, they're not staying.
Gotcha.
They want the memories.
Gotcha.
They want me to play.
Gotcha.
Even if I go back to 2010, they don't want to hear the new stuff being played by me as much as they want to hear what was played.
Right,
and that's where the musicologist comes in, because you have to be able to decipher what people really want to hear, what you want to play instead of what, and to mix it. So from your perspective of what you're saying, yes, we need to get younger people, but we were the younger people that made the change.
See, to that point is that, like, if you have to understand, and here's another part of it. If you want to bring younger people in there also, you have to be willing to listen to the changes they make with it. Now, you can't tell me, hey, listen, Dan, I love your way of communication, but you got to use a rotary dial phone. We're not doing that.
And also, social media.
Social media, yeah.
I can't put my phone down because I'm trying to mix. I can't mix and use my phone. Can I?
Right.
Maybe I'll have to mix on my phone.
And you can't. Hey.
So it's different. It's just different.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
But if you can pull them in, it's amazing. And there's so much new house. There's good new house music out there. There's good new house music out there. Do not get it twisted. But you'll see, and I guess this is just because I see so much, because when you're on a station that's on 7 days a week and you're listening to over 45 to 50 DJs that play on your station, it's very, you hear so many different tracks. And what I hear more than anything is a lot of R&B.
R&B
remixes.
Yeah.
And that's what's bringing us back. And a lot of the new cats will play a lot of those R&B remixes. And it also helps us to reminisce a little bit.
Sure.
Without pushing us back to the classics.
Sure.
The newer music that's coming out, it's not like it's not popular. And it's not like these clubs are not full. We have a lot. I mean, I've been to a couple of clubs lately. It's full, and the movements are what are big. The David Morales movements, the Jihad Muhammad movement, the Beloved. I'm mentioning y'all. Y'all know your family. Okay, but these are the movements that really, the people that really moved things. Mark Francis.
Don't worry,
Mark Lewis.
Joy, I had him. Don't worry. Go ahead.
So I know who helps move. Those clubs are always going to be packed because we need to get out. We got to branch. We got to dance. And dancing is an intricate component to everything that's around us. It's our movement,
Well, let's go ask this question. You DJ'd, I guess, with so many people. Name some of the people that you've DJ'd with, and is there anybody you want to play with? Some of the places you've played, any place you want to play?
There's a couple of people that I've DJ'd with. Don't say I'm not a name dropper.
Okay.
I'm not big on that. I've been kind of thankful to play a lot in between New York and New Jersey.
Okay.
And a lot of great parties.
Mm-hmm.
Who I love to play with? Well, where I love to play first is I love to be able to play in Brazil. I'm going to be taking a trip out to Brazil in July.
Wow, okay.
I'd love to be able to play in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Love to be able to play in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Something I was never got a chance to really do.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as being able to play with certain people, I was told by somebody 2 weeks ago who made a statement to me, and this cat plays with a lot of different people. It's not who you play with, it's that you're blessed to play.
Okay.
So
all right.
Playing with somebody, I'm really listening to them. You know, being on the bill with somebody is not as important to me as it used to be. I'm in a phase in my life where I just love to play.
Gotcha.
I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's online. I don't care if it's in a club.
Gotcha.
I don't care where it is. I just love to play.
Gotcha. Oh, please.
And it's different too.
Yeah.
Because the stuff I play online, I don't play the same in the club. You can't.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, watch this. So after this show, I'm going to do the Shazam Free Zone. And the whole point of Shazam Free Zone is to play all new music. And instead of you having to Shazam it, I'll play it and say it. In other words, here's the artist, whatever.
Yeah.
And the whole point of it, and let's say, for example, like you mentioned, if I went to a club, I want to play most of this music I would not play. Only because I know that for most people want familiar. At some level, they want familiar. They want to be able to sing to it, dance to it. They want to be able to do all their favorite moves, whatever. But I do that in this environment, like you said, because this gives me a chance. This gives me a chance to
you can
play
incorporate new.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you got to play.
Oh, yeah.
That's my song.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. You
got to play That's my song.
That's right.
That's how you keep the floor crowded.
That's how
I
exactly.
I get it.
And again, that's so. For example, this Saturday night, I played for an audience that was into Mr. Brightside by the Killers. They were into Journey. I'm signaling who I'm playing
Eclectic.
for. Yeah. I'm playing Grease Megamix. I'm playing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm playing Sinatra. I'm playing Nat King Cole. I'm playing for that audience. So I already know that's different. Like when I go over here and do this set here.
So, for me, I think I'm called a musicologist because of the fact that I play eclectically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play what you always want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I want to introduce you to something different.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I have a tendency to blend over the top of whatever's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Chicago. So, when you go to Shazam it, you're not going to find it because it's being done on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Timmy Regisford to thank for that. Because Timmy and Shelter, who changed the logistics. I mean, Larry was my idol, David was my idol. But Timmy really taught me blend techniques that nobody else could. How to make the two talk to each other. How to let it ride, you know, let those two pieces of vinyl, those two 1200s just ride out, you know, and let them talk, you know, which is to me is a really big art. Anybody can just play a track, but that blending, a different type of blending is really unique. That's what sets you across from the rest of the people at the table.
Wow. How about this? Let's talk about your Twitch channel. I want to take some time with that. Tell us about that. You came into it, you went out of it, then all of a sudden you came out to Twitch. Tell us the story.
Interesting.
And
2007, I started a podcast called Soulful House Music Collage. We advertised that on Deep House page. What's up, Timmy? And which was an intricate component to everybody knows Deep House page at the time. I mean, they were just like the hottest thing. So I became a big part of that family. What I would do is I would introduce my podcast, and people could go and they could download the music or they could listen to it on my podcast. And I had a lot of different people. Timmy Regisford mixes from BLS, Tony Humphries mixes. I had Dave Mancuso sets. But I also really wanted to more focus on people that needed to get exposure, that weren't getting it,
Right.
that
Gotcha.
people didn't know. So my goal always was, and to this day really is to help others get exposure. It's never been about me. Similar to you, you know.
Right.
It's about getting the people the exposure that they need. So when I introduced this thing, it worked out pretty good. Well, I got introduced to Cyber Jams.
Okay, sure.
Sammy Rock.
Okay, I
my man.
interviewed him.
That's my man.
Good.
Sammy watching the way things are put together in that chat room, and the music really was such a cool thing to have on the internet. I'm like, this is really crazy. I can listen to mixes and sets and this and that. And so I got introduced to a cat called Marcus Rice, Rawcast.
Okay.
Rawcast was doing the same thing, and he's like, hey, man, you know, you've ever thought about playing weekly? And I was like, okay, what do I do? He's like, all you got to do is play. And it'll be broadcast. And I'm like, okay, like Cyber Jam. He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, I can do that.
Okay.
So I started out with a 2-hour slot on a Sunday, and then the person that was behind me didn't show up and stopped playing. So I started taking over from 12 to 6.
Okay.
Right?
Which, if you go back in the day, that was very common to play 6 8. It was nothing.
You could, right. It was water. So sometimes I realized nobody could see me. So I could throw on a CD. You know, I could take a little break, throw on a CD. Sometimes I was in my backyard in the swimming pool. And I'd come back out, dry off, and come back out, okay, let me start it back live again. Find the track that I was playing, and then flip it on and go back live. It was just all CDs back then. So, but it always kind of disturbed me that nobody really saw me. I wanted to be like I was in the booth, you know?
Okay.
It's like, I could do this, and nobody really knows what I'm doing. So I found a site that had video. This was before Ustream.
Gotcha.
That had video and audio, and I could go live. So after I finished playing on Rawcast, I would go and play, keep it continuing on my own station. And I had 2 cats that were my friends. It was King Lion and my brother Kelvin Anderson. And we were all tight, you know, real tight, you know. And I started playing, and then one day I talked to Jimmy, who was a big part of Rawcast. He was the web guy. Both of them, rest in peace. You know, wow. They were an intricate component to the growth of Soulful House Music Collage. And he said, well, we could put you on video. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's not I'll be right back. And now I'm playing. And he goes, okay, do me a favor. Refresh and click this link. And I clicked the link. And he goes, now you got video. I incorporated. So now you can go video and audio. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we were I didn't forget about B-Town Sound.
Okay.
We were one of the pioneers of audio video and putting you in there with the DJ. So we were pretty happy about that. Then we moved to Ustream.
Okay.
And then we became
Ustream
organized. And then we became one of the hottest things on Ustream. Not to take away from anybody else, because we had a lot of cats that were on Ustream also that were just dope. And a lot of influences. I'm having a mind block, sorry. But that blossomed. And we came, at first we were like maybe a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday. Then it blossomed. It became 7 days a week. And we had DJs that just played and played. Well, Facebook came along and decided they were going to have video. That made a lot of people want to move away from it because the numbers were drastic. Because now all your friends can watch you play.
Right.
So now it moved away from being a Ustream thing to being a Facebook thing.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
and we lost a lot of our DJs. But some hung in. As a matter of fact, I told you about DJ Phantom, who hung in there. He didn't go anywhere. He went till the wheels fell off, and Ustream said, "Oh, well, if you give us $100 a month, you can continue." And we went, no. So we shut down for a little while. But I think that was around 2012, 13, maybe 14. It was like I think there was really like a 3 or 4 year hiatus.
Okay.
You know, and COVID hit.
Oh yeah.
When COVID hit, I decided I wanted to turn my machines back on. So I turned my machine on, my camera, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go on Facebook. Okay, that was a mistake almost. Because when I went back on Facebook, I was playing, and then 20 minutes later, they kicked me off.
You weren't playing, right?
I'm like, where'd everybody go?
Right.
So I had to refresh, put the key back in, start back up again. Okay, start back up again. 15 minutes later, I did it again. I turned it off.
Yeah.
I can't do this. This is not going to work for me.
Right.
But I got the bug.
Got the bug.
What I do, 3 days later, I tried again. DJ Phantom came in the room and said, stop.
Okay.
Turn it off. It's not working. So he said, we're going to get the band back together. And if you don't do it, I will.
Okay, now.
I went,
No pressure.
okay, no pressure. He said, call me when you're done. So he introduced me to this cat, the soulful one, Mark McCade.
Okay,
That's my man.
Okay.
So the two of them came to me and said, we're going to do Twitch. And I said, nobody's doing Twitch. It's a gamer site, isn't it? He goes, well, let's change it. Well, we were pioneers because we went in before anybody knew what was going on. There were 2 people playing on Twitch as DJs, and nobody even knew who they were. Sorry if you were playing on Twitch, and I don't mean any disrespect. So we started out doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I started the first show because it's Friday nights. So we started that first show. We blossomed. We went into Saturdays, Phantom, a couple of the other cats started. We started building. Then we got our Sundays. DJ Funk introduced, he introduced 2 other cats, TDM, and of course DJ Peanut. And we were running the slots from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, that started getting bigger. And then DJ TDM, I think, was the first one that said, hey, man, we need to branch this thing out. So instead of talking to me, he talked to the other DJs and said, we need to play more. And I was like, okay. Does that include me?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we started branching. It got bigger. So now we had Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we were missing Monday, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Wow.
And next thing I know, we were so big, the cats that I kept asking to come and play with us, to come back, there was no room.
Hey, back then you didn't know me. Now I'm hot, you all on me. All right.
So we have about 45 DJs. So if I sit here and name everybody, it's going to take a lot of time.
No problem.
So
no problem.
all I want to say is, the DJs that play on Soulful House Music are amazing. They're amazing. We couldn't have asked for a better group. Not only do they play, but there's times when people can't play, and they come to the aid and say, I got it. Don't worry about it. I got this. I got this. We're a family. What is different between us and a lot of the other stations is we're a family. Our group, our people in the chat, everybody knows each other because we're like a family unit. We're known globally because we're a family. It's not just about you go play.
Right.
You know, this isn't about money. It has never been about money to me. This has been about helping people and helping people to get exposure. A lot of our DJs don't play because they're looking to get money. They're looking to play. They're looking to have people listen to their art and their craft. And that's what Soulful House Music is built on. We have an amazing array of moderators who I love to give shout outs. Shout out Sweet Tea, Vivacious Vivian, Seductive Sapphire, Brother Brian, Brother Law Will, you know, Vintage Lady, man. I got Queen Alex. We have a lot of people on our bill that, people don't realize what goes on in the background.
Right.
But these are the people who hold the glue.
Gotcha.
They're the people that are in that room that keep the excitement going, to keep the levels going, to keep everybody. Don't forget Duchess. Okay, we can't forget the Duchess of Chicago.
Okay.
We got to give our sister her credit, and where credit is due. Also, all these people are the reason why Soulful House Music Collage. They're the secret. It's not me. I mean, I'm in the back. I mop the floors. I hope I do a good job, because that's my job, to mop those floors and keep the floors clean, so that everybody can do what they need to do. But they are really the glue. If it wasn't for them, there probably would be no Soulful House Music Collage along with our DJs. It is not about Les Calloway at all.
Okay. We're past the wire, but we're getting down to...
Oh, by the way, we have over 21,000 followers.
Right.
We're not just a following. We are a movement.
Wow.
Globally.
Wow. What's in the future for musicologists, the Twitch channel, Soulful House Music Collage? What can we look for? Is there any producing in the up and coming? Is there any outdoor events or anything? What can we look for?
So we were kind of waiting for this whole COVID thing to be kind of over with. I got a lot going on this summer, so I can't do it.
Okay.
But next year, we're looking to have some serious outdoor events.
Okay, now.
We want to start blossoming them out. We want to not just keep it all on Twitch.
Quick question.
Sure.
Did you hear it here first, or was it second?
First.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
All right. Okay.
So we do want to do some outdoor events.
Good,
we definitely
good,
want to
good,
get that.
good,
We want to
good,
get the exposure out there. We also want to do things outside the United States.
Okay,
if we
now.
can, do some global parties. Maybe some of our folks, because our folks aren't just New Jersey, Chicago. They're global. We have people in Brazil. We have Milton Shugaro, who is very well known in all of Brazil, as well as here. He's an amazing icon. We have Marcos. We have Leandro P., who's a very good producer. We have a lot of producers that are under our fold as well. And what we do is we promote them. So when a person finishes their show, we do our best to try to push it into an audio phase and push it off to Mixcloud. And with that Mixcloud, underneath the subject titles, you'll see that we promote the artists. We promote the DJ for Twitch. If you're doing something else, we try to push that in there too.
Okay.
You got music, you got tracks, whatever it is, we try to push it, to promote it. It's not about us.
Right.
It's about you.
Right.
And whatever we can do to help you grow, that's our goal.
Wow. I know that what you're telling me is a lot of work. I mean, you guys make it look easy, but I know just from doing what I'm doing. I mean, people don't realize what it takes to make this thing go, and then you're.
I do now. Now that I've been here, I'm like, whoa, whoa. There's a lot of stuff in here.
A lot of stuff in here. But but people don't necessarily see the work that you put in to make this thing run seamlessly, to make sure that all the hiccups are handled. And then, too, you must have, especially in the beginning, probably a lot smoother now, but still with scheduling and just... It's just...
Scheduling is always a problem.
Artificial intelligence. How about that?
Good, because that's exactly what we decided to do to fix that.
Okay.
We replay. Okay. Which everybody's always like, you're on all the time. Yeah, because sometimes I stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning, because when the DJ's done, I flip to a replay.
Gotcha.
And then guess who's back up at 7 in the morning again? Me. So, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, I guess sometimes they say it's a lot, but in the end, it's worth it, and that's kind of where you got to be coming
invaluable.
From. Yeah. And then, just from my perspective, to do something like this, it is heart and soul. I mean, like, it's one thing to do one big event or to do something here and there. But the real key is, can you show up week after week, day after day? And it's not
Even
based
when
on...
you're tired.
Yes, I'm going to say it's not based on, well, I feel like playing today. Oh, I'll play today. No.
Commitments.
Heavy.
And
heavy.
these DJs do that weekly.
And it's very, very powerful.
Oh my
Very
God!
powerful.
You don't understand how much I appreciate each and love and each every one of them for what they put into this. They could be like, "Oh, I don't feel like playing today. I don't have no new music. I ain't playing."
Right.
But they don't.
Right.
And those that call in, as soon as they call in, we have a system. As soon as they call in, within a little bit of time, somebody's already like, "I got it."
I got you.
We have people that will back them. They back each other up like family. So, I thank those people too, because if it wasn't for them, the wheels would kind of like stop for a minute and then maybe continue in a couple of hours.
Like a little stick shift.
And for us, it's really, it's about the people in the chat room, right? So it's about them not getting interrupted. It's about keep giving them what they need. I was told stories during COVID of people who were super sick. They couldn't go out. Who were in states of depression. Who had cancer. And they said that this music was all they had. Sorry.
Okay.
It moved me. It really moved me. Because to this day, there's still people. Even COVID's not the only problem.
Right.
And some people just can't go out.
Right.
They suffer from illnesses, and this is what they do.
Can I just share one thought before we close it down? So you have this idea that you want to put forth, and you really don't know. You have a good idea how you're going to do it, whatever. But you really don't know until they use a term, till the rubber hits the road. And like, I've been playing for longer than I've been born. Anyway, something like that. Anyway, a while. I'm gonna say a while. As a young man and everything. Sometimes try to catch. Anyway, but two things never go away. Number one is the love of playing. And the second thing that never goes away is when people say they appreciate what you did. I mean, we make money sometimes depending on the type of gig.
We don't make a lot of money.
Just
let me make that again. We don't make a lot of money. I think you make more in a Chinese sweatshop. But
anyway.
Sorry, no disrespect to anybody who's Chinese.
Okay. Well, anyway. All right. Well, there goes our Disney contract. Anyway. I think something says about it disavow. But anyway, the point is that it's when people tell you that they appreciate what you do, because you put the time, the energy, whether it's putting the music, whether it's buying the music, whether it's figuring out how you're going to play it, when you're going to play it, trying different things, and when people say, "Hey, listen, I love what you're doing," Even if they're BSing you, it still goes to your soul in a good way. And those are two things that I just, as we started talking, it came to me anyway. So
it's good that you mentioned that, because I thank my mom for a lot of my influences and the things that she instilled in me to push me forward into this music. It's not always, as you know, as being a DJ, it's a very difficult task to find someone who can care about you and understand this plight and understand your music. I'm thankful that I have somebody in my life that can understand that. But I think you mentioned something that was really, really important, and it's that you're led, right? Because God is the one, in my personal opinion, in my life, God is the one who, when I didn't have an answer and I didn't know how to put something together, it wasn't just coming, it was coming from God, not the top of my head.
Right.
Whenever something comes, it's like, okay, what do I do? God's like, you're going to do it this way. It may not work out the first time, but it's the learning process. You know,
That's
this
always
whole
there.
thing for me is not about getting rich or exposure for me. It's about the journey. You know, it's life's journey. And I'm thankful to God every day for giving the right people around me, the guidance, the beautiful people that help, you know, not just Soulful House Music Collage, but, you know, I got a lot of people from a lot of these, from the garage, from the shelter family that took me in as family. And these are, they're close to me, and a lot of my own family are. You know, we're tight, you know, like brothers and sisters, you know, and they were all instrumental in getting me to where I am. And I'm truly thankful and humbled. That's all I can say about that.
Well, I wish I had more time, but we're way past our time. But some things are worth it. But let me. If people want to contact you, follow you, support you, go to your channel, et cetera, how do they do it?
Okay, so we got twitch.tv/Soulful House Music Collage, the #1 station for Soulful House music. Right. We've got Mixcloud. Just type in Soulful House Music Collage. You'll find us. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on no, we're not on Twitter. We can be bothered with Twitter.
Okay.
Cut Twitter off. We're on Facebook. Make sure you follow us in our Facebook group. Please help us on our TikTok. We're trying to grow. Our objective on TikTok doesn't give you stream keys.
Okay.
So I'm right now trying to get enough followers, because if I get enough followers on TikTok, I want to open that up like Twitch.
Got you.
So just following. Come listen to some of our fantastic and phenomenal DJs that play 7 days a week. I play from 9 p.m. till 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, like a club night every Friday. It's all Eastern Standard Time across the board. Just come get some love from us. Okay?
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
okay.
Last but not least,
Go ahead.
thank you for giving us this opportunity. And I also want to give big thanks and love out to Joanne.
Absolutely, because Joy is the one that says, Uncle Dan, you got to...
She's off the chain.
Yes. So, thank you so much. Well, we're going to go to our next phase, which is the Shazam Free Zone. We have a lot of new music. And, you know, in the Shazam Free Zone, we not only play it, but we say it. And every week we come on and we play songs that maybe you never heard before, and maybe you want to hear them again, but at least you'll know about it. I just leave with this story here. So this is going back a few years ago. I played this track that, and for me, it doesn't matter whether I like it or not. It's like when I'm DJing a mobile party like I did on Saturday. Like, whether I like it is immaterial, because you know what? I can go listen to my music in my car or whatever. So I play these songs to give like opportunities for people to be heard, and also for you to hear new things. And you can decide whether you like it. You don't have to Shazam it, because, hey, I'm going to play it and say it. So, Chuck, why don't you lead off with the first song, and then I'm going to start the mix, and we'll be on until 3 o'clock. We'll be on Facebook, you know, until they shut it down. Well, one of the good things about with Facebook now is a lot of these new songs, they don't even know what they are. They don't even know it's a song. So, but we'll be on there, we'll be on Twitch, and we'll be on Roku, we'll be on YouTube, and a whole bunch of places. So, Chuck, when you're ready, can you start us up here? Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am DJ Dan Soulful House Station, coming to you live from the 8th floor. We're going on the other side in Shazam Free Zone. Get ready, get ready, get ready.